Each time a lynx attacks another creature, a perfect lesson in hunting is taught. Thankfully, we now have enough cameras to be able to document their flawless hunting technique, which is exactly what we're about to see today. Catching prey doesn't always have to involve chasing after them until they can't breathe or developing a mastermind plan to catch them in a situation where it's impossible for them to escape. It could all just happen by chance. This lynx had no idea that it was about to secure the night's dinner for its little cubs, but a panicked rabbit that was running away from something landed right into its lap. The lynx only saw the rabbit coming less than a second before it captured it, but that was all it needed to get ready and intercept it. Thinking about capturing a squirrel that doesn't want to get caught will definitely bring the word impossible to mind. They're unbelievably tiny and unbelievably agile and fast, and they're very quick thinkers as well. They can navigate almost any surface and make fraction of a second decisions, which makes their maneuvering skills unparalleled. But as great as all of that sounds, it doesn't help them much when a lynx shows up. They might not be as light, but a lynx will almost always win the chase when they set their sights on a squirrel. This squirrel was doing its absolute best to get away from the hungry predator, but the big cat wasn't leaving it any room to breathe. Birds are another very hard target to catch, being able to fly and all. But what if the predator is too fast for them to even get off the ground once they see it? This lynx was coming for some birds that were in the water, and the birds saw it coming from a considerable distance. But even though they did, they couldn't get off the ground and fly away before the lynx was on top of them. The hungry feline was too fast for them, and one of the birds ended up becoming its dinner. No matter how good a predator may be, dealing with venomous creatures is always a difficult thing to do. The lynx had absolutely no problem capturing this snake, but as it was trying to drag it away to eat, the snake tried to bite the lynx and inject it with its venom. Thankfully, the hungry cat saw the attack coming, and its quick reflexes helped it dodge it at the last second. The lynx released the snake, but it didn't mean that it was going to let it escape. It just made the predator realize that it had to kill the serpent before dragging it back home. So far, we've looked at lynxes attacking both land animals and air animals. But what about hunting in the water? How well would they do in such an environment? This lynx was craving some fish, and it decided to stand by the edge of the water and wait for the perfect moment to strike. Anyone who's tried spearfishing before will understand how difficult it is to capture a fish that's moving. Yet the lynx made it look like a super easy thing to do. It was able to catch a pretty big fish too, not just any fish. Take a look at this bone-chilling attack. There was no way that the bird was going to be able to do anything to stop the bloodthirsty predator, as it didn't even expect the attack. One moment the bird was just roaming around, and the other, it was fighting for its life against a powerful attack that literally came out of nowhere. It was obvious that the bird wasn't going to do much against the superior lynx, but panic made it struggle and twitch in every possible way. It also tried to bite the lynx, but that hungry cat barely even noticed as it was carrying the bird away. Most of the birds that we've seen the lynx prey upon so far were pretty weak and harmless, but this one certainly isn't any of those things. It's a golden eagle that decided to fight the lynx on land after the deadly cat tried to steal its meal. The eagle had worked so hard to capture and kill the prey, and it wasn't going to allow the lynx to steal it away. A short battle ensued between the two, and even though the eagle tried its best to defend its food, the greedy cat still managed to get in a few bites. Here's another squirrel that had to employ every single muscle in its body to try and get away from a hungry lynx, and still failed. The squirrel was running and moving in a way that made it look like the laws of gravity didn't even apply to it. It climbed the first tree, hoping that the lynx wouldn't be able to follow it, but it had to jump to another tree when the lynx almost captured it. Finally, the impatient cat jumped up the tree and captured the terrified squirrel using a backflip. Now, what could be more impressive than that? This coyote had no idea that it was wandering around in a lynx's territory, and it was unfortunate enough to pass right in front of the deadly cat. The angry lynx immediately attacked the intruder to teach it a lesson about invading other predators' territory, but it didn't seem like the coyote needed much teaching. It started screaming in terror as soon as the lynx attacked it, and it was probably never going to show its face in that area ever again. The lynx was also feeling generous, and it allowed it to get out of there alive, something that doesn't happen often when running into a lynx. Notice how hard this deer was kicking and struggling to break free of the lynx's grip, and how badly it was failing? The deer was much bigger and much heavier than the lynx, but the deadly predator knew how to keep it pinned down and under control. The lynx was already biting the deer's neck and trying to suffocate it to death, and all it needed to do was to hold on long enough for the deer to run out of oxygen and pass out. Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.